Welcome to our virtual hospitality training. We are excited to bring you this training. Our aim with this training is to equip the hospitality team to operate in excellence and serve God's people to the best of our ability. In this training, we will cover position responsibilities, ALICE training, and active shooter protocols. We will provide in-depth examples of key responsibilities. There will be a questionnaire along with the training, so please take notes along the way and jot down the questions which you'll be able to ask in the questionnaire. Are you ready? Let's begin our position responsibilities.
First, we'll be covering the front door greeter/security position. The role description is the front door greeter/security is essential to the safety of the ministry as he or she monitors people entering and exiting the service. They are ready to respond to urgent matters such as forcible removing of belligerent visitors or other serious matters. This person radios to the other radios in the sanctuary, such as the lead usher, the sound booth, and the children's room in case of an emergency situation. Pre-service responsibilities. Number 1, makes sure radio is on channel 11 and performs a radio check to all radios, sound booth, co-op room, the common area, and the lead usher radio. Number 2, make sure to have emergency device on your person. During service responsibilities, number 1, opens the door and greets guests as they walk in. Number 2, monitors facilities for the purpose of providing a visible and active security presence. This helps to create a safe and comfortable environment. Number 3, reacts quickly, calming, and professionally in emergency situations. Number 4, stays near the entrance/lobby area for 20 to 30 minutes after the hour. And number 5, only leaving after being replaced by the lead usher or the service director.
First contact ministry. Role description. The first contact ministry personnel are the welcoming face of Metro Praise International. This is a very important role as they also provide the church's first impression to all visitors. The ministry personnel stands in the lobby and greets all guests. Pre-service responsibilities. Number 1, report to the designated location immediately after team talk. Number 2, make sure the visitor kiosk is set up properly. During service responsibilities, number 1, be attentive for the first time visitors. Number 2, hand new visitors a welcome gift. Number 3, fill out contact form. 4, be engaged, not easily distracted. Number 5, be friendly and relational.
Hi, good morning, guys. Welcome.
Hey,
My name is Alex.
my name is Joe.
Nice to meet you. Is this your first time here?
This is my first time.
Here, let me introduce you to our welcome team over here.
Sure.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
My name is Jackie.
Karina.
Joe.
Jackie. Nice to meet you. How did you hear about us?
Social media.
Social media? Oh, that's great. We do have a big presence on social media. Since this is your first time, before you go into service, if you can scan this QR code, it'll actually keep you updated with the life groups that we have, the different things that we have going on for the month, and we also would like to give you guys a gift.
Oh wow, thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you.
Say thank you.
And then we'll have our lead usher find you a seat in service.
Okay, awesome.
Number 6, they are released into the sanctuary 15 minutes after worship begins. And lastly, after service responsibilities. Number 1, they must be back in the lobby or outside before service ends to make another connection with the new visitors or any person they may have originally missed.
The parking lot ushers are responsible for maintaining order in the parking lot as well as directing visitors to available parking. They also serve as security around the building by communicating via radio any problems. Issues or concerns to lead ushers, that's channel 11 on duty and channel 10 in case of emergencies. Pre-service responsibilities. Grab a reflective vest, radio, and garbage picker. Number 2, ensure you are on the correct channel. 3, perform a radio check with the lead usher. And 4, reviewing parking lots to see if spaces are being occupied correctly. During service responsibilities. Number 1, parking lot ushers only allow families with children to park in the church lot. 2, if the lot is full, direct visitors to the Regency Inn. Number 3, clean any garbage around the building. 4, one usher makes rounds to the front of the building to ensure safety. Number 5, immediately communicate any suspicious activity. Number 6, ushers go out 15 minutes before service and come in 15 minutes after. Number 7, at the end of service, parking lot ushers are responsible for putting away flags into the shed.
Next, we're going to be discussing the role of the sanctuary ushers. The role description is the usher is critical to the flow of the service. They serve in a variety of ways that help streamline the service. Ushers help visitors feel welcomed, direct visitors to seating areas, and assist visitors with questions or concerns. Pre-service responsibilities. Number 1, arrive on time for team talk. Number 2, meet with the team after team talk. Number 3, must report to post immediately after. Number 4, ensure giving baskets are behind overflow seats on the right. Number 5, have water bottle ready for Pastor Joe. Number 6, be ready with microphone when it's time for someone to give a word. During service responsibilities. Guide visitors to open seats, especially new visitors. Number 2, must be vigilant for Spanish speakers and offer headsets for Spanish translation to whoever needs it. Number 3, if a visitor member has a car seat or stroller, offer to put it away in the kitchen until the end of service. Number 4, if visitors have newborn babies, offer noise-canceling headsets. Number 5, know where there is available seating for large families or new guests. Number 6, be prepared with mic for anybody giving a word during that designated time. Number 7, pass out flyers when transitioning to announcements, starting with the front row. Number 8, the right side usher should take up offering baskets during transition to announcements. Then collect them about 1 minute after giving prayer has ended. Make sure no one is on their way to drop an envelope, and take them to the pastor's office. Wait next to the office for the empty baskets to be given back to place in their designated position.
Welcome to Metro Praise International.
Number 9, this is for the left side usher. Once sermon has started, about 10 minutes in, check restroom and make sure it's clean and restock any supplies if needed. Let lead usher or service director know you are going to leave for post. Number 10, maintain an attentive disposition during services to assist where needed. After service responsibilities. Number 1, bring back car seats and or strollers. Number 2, reset sanctuary by cleaning up trash or placing lost items in the lost and found. This is for first service. Number 3, empty and replace garbage bags. This is for second service. Number 4, check the restroom to see if it needs more tissue paper, soap, a light sweeping, and if the garbage needs to be taken out and the bag replaced. And this is for second service.
And now we're going to talk about the role of the lead usher. As the lead usher, you are the face of the ministry and very important to service because you are the visitor's first impression. As the lead usher, you oversee other ushers and the parking lot attendants. Pre-service responsibilities. You are to report to your post 15 minutes before the service begins with an earpiece and the radio on. You are to make sure that the parking lot attendants have a radio that is on and on channel 11. You are to make sure that the sanctuary ushers are in position. And at the scheduled time, you are to make sure that everybody is in the sanctuary ready to start worship and prayer, which is always 5 minutes before the service begins. During service responsibilities, you are to stand in front of the black wall, keeping a smooth transition and direct flow into the sanctuary with the help of your ushers. Greet people as they come in and exit the building. You can give them a high five, a smile, make sure you're providing direct eye contact and checking in to see if it's their first time visiting us. Direct visitors with questions to the appropriate individuals or ushers who can help them if you cannot step away from the door. Find out if the visitor needs translation so it could be communicated to the usher to grab a headset for them. Use the hand signals to let the sanctuary ushers know the size of families. And assist the service director with the attendance count. Use the clicker for appropriate and accurate count. You are responsible for making sure that the ushers know when to place the buckets and pass out the flyers. You have to be attentive when the speaker needs the round table to be brought forward from the back of the altar. After service responsibilities. As a first service sanctuary usher, your responsibility is to open the side door for dismissal. And then after service, you are to remind and double check that the ushers have cleaned up properly.
Next, we'll be discussing the role of the Spanish translator. Role description. The job of the Spanish translator is to translate our Sunday service sermon into Spanish. Please pause video here and read over if you serve in this role. Thank you.
Next, we will discuss our ALICE training. ALICE is a curriculum that was created for organizations to learn how to deal with an active shooter. It's a tough reality and may be difficult to talk about, but we see these horrific events occur more and more in public places, so it is essential that we as a church are prepared in dealing with an active shooter. ALICE is an acronym that stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. Research. Preparation starts by understanding what we've learned from prior tragedies. The research shows that people confronted with a threat often deny the possibility of danger rather than responding. 40% of all attacks end in suicide or attempted suicide before law enforcement makes contact. 86% of attacks end through use of force by law enforcement, civilians, or attacker suicide. 98% of active shooter incidents were carried out by a single attacker, and 4% take place at a house of worship. Here's some guidance from the U.S. Department of Justice, FEMA, and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Law enforcement officers may arrive after the shooting has ended. No single response fits all active shooter situations. It is possible that people will need to use more than one response option. To be prepared for an active shooter incident, houses of worship should train their staff and congregation in what to expect and how to react. Depicting scenarios and considering response options in advance will assist people in selecting their best course of action. Repetition in training and preparedness shortens the time it takes to orient, observe, and act. To better prepare for this type of situation, conduct regular drills. Individuals must be mentally and physically prepared to deal with an active shooter situation. As a last resort, attempt to disrupt and/or incapacitate the active shooter. Why is ALICE important? ALICE is designed from the perspective of the people in harm's way. It provides a set of strategies that you'll use only as needed. And ALICE is not sequential, meaning you do not have to respond in any particular order. You decide how to respond based on what is happening. The A in ALICE stands for alert. Alert is your first notification of danger. The sooner you recognize you're in danger, the sooner you can respond. Your first awareness of the threat will come in one of two ways. Number one, you'll receive notification, or number two, you'll recognize danger on your own. If you receive an alert, number one, recognize and accept the alert. Number two, choose the best action, lock down, evacuate, inform, or counter. Number three, act quickly. Every second counts. Take unexpected sounds seriously, accurately, and quickly assess your situation. Pause and listen for more sounds. Investigate if you can safely do so. Watch what others are doing. Recognize that gunfire has many sounds. The L in Alice stands for lockdown. The purpose of lockdown is to secure in place and prepare to evacuate or counter if needed. Enhanced lockdown. Create a semi-secure space for making survival decisions. Slow the intruder and make the job harder. Prepare for all possibilities. The key of lockdown is to buy time. Armed intruders want to move quickly and find easy targets. If they encounter an obstacle, they will often move on. If you believe there is an armed intruder in the building and you don't know whether you can evacuate, lock down immediately. Enhance lockdown elements. Secure the door, barricade the door, spread out, prepare, and communicate. The I in Alice stands for inform. The purpose of inform is to continue to communicate information in as real time as possible and expand on the initial alert. The ongoing process of communicating real-time information about the intruder. Real-time information is valuable because it keeps people in the danger zone properly informed in the case they need to switch responses. For example, switching from lockdown to evacuate. There are many ways to inform. Directly from you through a PA system, walkie-talkies, or emergency app. More often you will be communicating your observations to another person, such as a security, a 911 operator, building occupants, law enforcement, and larger congregation. Remember to use plain language here. The more observant you are, the better you can inform other people about what is happening. Ask yourself questions like, where is the location, how many intruders, what's the physical description, what kind of weapons, and the number of victims. The C in Alice stands for counter. The purpose of counter is to interrupt the intruder's plan and objectives, and take back control if necessary. If the armed intruder is in your immediate area, counter can be your best and only option. Counter strategies are physical action that you can take to interfere with the intruder's mental and physical capabilities, especially the ability to shoot accurately. Counter saves lives. Counter interrupts the thought process. The goal is to confuse and disorient, force different decisions, prevent or delay actions. Counter can buy you time. Remaining passive and static puts the armed intruder in control. In counter, we are attempting to shift the advantage. When deciding whether to use counter techniques, remember that you're putting your life on the line, so it's always optional. It's a strategy of last resort, and don't go looking for danger. Don't be a hero. Use distraction tactics. Force the intruder to flinch or move to protect himself. Throw Bibles, books, phones, backpacks. Spray Lysol, pepper spray, fire extinguisher. Make noise and big movements. Remember that you must counter immediately. The goal is to take control. Overpower the armed aggressor. There is strength in numbers. The E in Alice stands for evacuate. The purpose of evacuate is to remove yourself from the danger zone when it's safe to do so. The further from the shooter, the safer. This is the preferred response. Best practices. Plan in advance. Call only when it's safe. Take action necessary to evacuate. Leave everything behind. Run practice evacuation drills. Creating a rally point. A rally point is a pre-designed location to assemble. After evacuating, head to Rally Point. Our rally point is the T-Mobile east of the church. Call 911, communicate with law enforcement, leave only with law enforcement permission. Here are things to note when the police arrive. Remain calm and follow the police officer's instructions. Put down any items in your hands like books, bags, or jackets. Immediately raise hands and spread fingers. Keep hands visible at all times. Avoid making quick movements towards officers, such as holding onto them for safety. Avoid pointing, screaming, and/or yelling. Do not stop to ask officers for help or directions when evacuating. Just proceed in the direction from which the officers are entering the premises. This concludes our ALICE training. We understand that there may be many concerns or questions, so please feel free to ask in the designated portion in the Google Form questionnaire. In this first scenario, we see a very suspicious male enter the church, make his way through the foyer, and now he is entering the sanctuary. Let's watch to see what happens next. Let's roll it back slowly and make some noteworthy observations. First, as we see the gunman approaching, we notice that the member closest to the gunman begins to counter. Also notice how he goes for the arm with the gun, ensuring that the gunman loses control and is no longer able to fire rounds. Also notice how the other nearby member throws an object. This causes major distraction and forces the gunman to react in ways he was not ready for. Also take note that the member furthest away from the gunman begins to evacuate immediately. This is the proper protocol to take to ensure safety. When it's safe to do so, grab the gun, place it in a bucket as far from the perpetrator as possible. Make sure you keep the perpetrator contained until police arrive on the scene. In the next scenario, we see a man who clearly looks perturbed. Let's see how this plays out. Right off the bat, we see the red flags. There is fidgeting, a lot of moving around, hands are not easily able to be seen. This should raise awareness to the sanctuary usher and to the leaders that are mixed in the congregation. The member nearest to the assailant begins to counter. Notice how she goes straight for the arm. This attack dislodges the gun. Another nearby member comes to assist in keeping the assailant pinned down. The other member grabs the gun, places it in the bucket, and quickly calls 911. Remember that these are scenarios. In the event of an actual active shooter, expect anything. Be ready to alert, lock down, inform, counter, or evacuate. We pray that this will never occur in our church, but now you are more equipped to handle any situation. Thank you so much for watching this hospitality training video. We hope that it was informative, and that you use what you learned to serve God's people.